Welcome to Business Matters relating to fund management. Today I am talking to Sandeep Walunj. He is the Group CMO of Motilal Oswal Financial Services. It's a big, diversified, investor-centric financial services group which has emerged. You have made some significant changes here, integrating, and things have changed. The dark yellow thing has changed, and there will be a thought process, and you have I we at Value Research look at Motilal Oswal, where the investment thought process is far more articulated. What is the overarching strategy for repositioning of this repositioning exercise that you have carried out, which looks very elaborate?
It was something that whose time had come. So as you rightly said, a very respected, iconic, institutionalized kind of a brand, differentiated, extremely well differentiated. It's actually a delight for a marketeer to, take charge of a brand like this because it's already differentiated. Think equity, think Motilal Oswal is a very, very cleverly thought out and very vehemently built positioning.
And also reinforced with actions and
reinforced with action. So we simply needed to make it more relevant, change it with the times, and more importantly, ensure that the new audience is connected with this brand the way your and my generation is connected with this kind of a brand. So that was really the objective.
So how are you aligning marketing efforts, across diverse verticals? You have AMC, you have AIF, you have PMS, you have distribution, you have brokerage, and they all have a different target market, and they strike a chord with different people differently, and maybe many of the customers may not have a clear understanding of these, in at least the mass product, the mutual fund distribution or the brokerage. So what do you do about it?
So as I said, the core positioning, the Gangotri of this brand is equity. Think equity, think Motilal Oswal. This is equity specialist, institution. That defines, the overarching thing, which has a retail side of business and institutional side of business, as you rightly said. So as far as the institutional side is business is concerned, which is investment banking, institutional equities, private equity, is all equity. So the overarching position goes extremely well there. Right? Plus, we are very well entrenched in terms of our research and the kind of relationships that we have across the capital market players, etc. So that takes care of the institutional side of it. The retail side is where there are a couple of realignments have been done in sync with the existing positioning. So think equity, think Motilal Oswal is interpreted in the broking part of it, the retail business of it, as I have the best advice and I have the ability to give you the best advice. So research and advice is what is being put onto the forefront there, and that is the core differentiator of that brand. Also, that is something that the investors require today, because over the last 5, 6, 7 years, the whole narrative has shifted from which stocks you should be investing in to which tool you should use to invest with. So therefore, if you really get 10 investors in a room today, and if you ask them what is it that you look for in a broking platform, they say sleek app, and something that will work in the
UI, UX actually matters so much more.
So IT features, tech features have been made as if the whole life depends
that is the product.
Right. So therefore, what really matters for the success of an investor, a retail investor especially, the one who's a newcomer into the category, is the research and advice.
Handholding
and all of that piece, which Motilal Oswal has.
Guidance.
That's a very strong differentiator. So that is what we are highlighting. And one part of that whole repositioning exercise or the rebranding exercise is to stand up for that and make that parameter relevant. I have two challenges. First is this thing is not even relevant. People don't even know that I need to go to someone who can advise me. People believe that...
People don't attach value to it.
More importantly, people believe that the Instagram influencers and the WhatsApp tips that they
guys will take care of it.
More than enough.
Yeah.
So that needed to be dispelled by an institutional brand which is relevant to me. So I respect this brand, I can trust this brand, and they have the advice and the research. So that's the retail side of it. Coming to the AMC, this positioning gets interpreted there as the growth driving AMC, the growth managers. So if you really see the high conviction style of investing, the kind of success that they have been having of late, all of this is because this AMC stands for growing the portfolio. The style of investing is growth as against value or anything else. So that is what is being highlighted on the AMC side. And on the private wealth side, the whole wealth management aspect of it is being highlighted again. So from the retail side, we are reinterpreting equity expertise as a complete wealth managers or India's trusted wealth managers, to take care of your entire portfolio, which anyway is growth oriented, and equity drives that growth, and we are anyway
so it's a very clear positioning statement that you already have. You didn't have to invent one or reimagine one or anything. Now tell me, what are the key elements of this branding initiative or rebranding initiative, and how do you bring this to life? What are the steps that you have taken, or is it still underway?
Yes, it's still underway. There were three aspects to that, right? The first one is the physicality and the communication of that physicality. So that was an ATL campaign which spoke about this brand has changed to that brand. And
so the buildings, signage or the letterhead and the business cards and
so building
your website and signage.
Yes. So that's the physicality of the brand that got changed, and we also communicated that. We timed it with the finance minister's speech, if you remember, on 1st of February. The brand was unveiled as
that was a very timely
started talking about the budget. So the campaign part of it, and then the changeover. All the retail establishments that we have, and we have dime a dozen of them. We have about 300 of our own offices. We have about 5,000 franchisees. All of those places had to be physically changed. So that was the second phase of
how cumbersome is that? How if you have these branches, what is a typical branch look like in a city like not even a second tier city? I'm talking of something like Ghaziabad.
So Ghaziabad kind of a branch would have.
This will be a brokerage branch or an AMC branch. It could be any.
Yes, it could be a brokerage branch with which AMC is using.
Okay.
And we could also have our housing finance people
sitting
also
there,
leveraging it.
Okay.
Largely the partners come there, but sometimes there are a lot of walk-in customers as well. The branch customers that we cater to using the relationship managers who are housed in that branch. So that's really the setup. It's critical because that's the pop strata and that's the psychometric kind of a profile where the physical touch with an advisor or connect or one-on-one conversation is very critical. So branches become very, very, very important in our the way we do business, and we actually have a 98% of India's pin codes covered with a representative on ground model. So that needed
with your own office or a sub-broker?
Or a broker's office, yes. Okay. So that was the second part of it. The third and the most important part is what I was just speaking to you about, which is how do I make advice extremely relevant? How do I make advice the first step to the investment journey? And get that whole message down to the new age investors that are coming into the market, who are anyway brainwashed into thinking that all you require for investing success is a.
They are not brainwashed, We were also like that. When you are 22-year-old and you start earning well and you are tech savvy, then you think you are on top of the world. We were also like that when we were very young. So I think that is also a function of the age.
I remember when I was growing up, there was value research. And I remember writing an email to you right out of my college once asking some technical doubt. But there was enough literature out there. There were a lot of voices like yourself telling people that, you need to think before you invest. You need to have something known as risk profile. You need to figure out a fund that is suitable for your risk profile. Those voices are now relegated to the background.
People think just acting or investing is.
So you now have an 18-year-old Instagram influencer telling you that I have got a 2 crore worth of portfolio and I have grown it by 300% last year. Here are the tips that I'll give you. That is where that whole conversation comes down to. Which is why I use the word brainwash, that somewhere people believe that is true. Which is why I'm telling you the research output is I get 10 people who are the recent investors into broking and ask them what is the most important quality in a broker. They say that a sleek app.
UI UX is the only thing that they look at. What are you doing to engage the younger first-time investor?
Yeah, so 3 things. First is that we are fighting fire with fire, which means the content is what they consume. So we want to make our content snackable, approachable, accessible, and in that tone and manner in which they're used to receiving investment advice. Right? So we're talking to them in their language on the platforms that they frequent, in a tone and manner that they are very comfortable with. So content realignment, refurbishment is the first piece that we are doing to be meaningful to that audience. The second one is the brand is now de-aged, and it is doing those things that they find a little more relatable. Correct. So that's the second part of it. So therefore, the small font, you might have noticed.
You look younger by the design.
Yeah,
okay.
and we
or you have worked hard to
exactly
to
we
look like
behave
one.
younger as well. So there's a second part. The third part is we are very, very carefully examining the investment journeys, which were essentially designed for an assisted model. So there is a sub-broker and then there is an investor, and that journey was to cater to that model.
Yeah, so but that has been completely changed.
Today we have a DIY investor. So I have a whole department of people who are looking at processes and
self-guided investor or
questioning everything and aligning it with the new customers that we have today.
What are the these digital tools and data to personalize for investor? Assuming I come and I'm 50-year-old, and another person comes to your website who is 25-year-old, and another person comes who is 75-year-old, and they're all the three are well off. How will you treat them differently?
No, brilliant question. That's where data comes in. That's where AI comes in. That's where all of the data science, which is available at our beck and call, come in, right? So it starts with a record of customers in a tech system called CDP, Customer Data Platform, which stores all of the background information that I already have with.
No, but I'm a first-time visitor.
Yeah. So I also have partnerships with people who can provide me with your data. So there is an account aggregator model that you're aware of. So it tells me what your background, enough.
So I can consent and you can get all the information.
Absolutely. Okay. So I already know a lot of things about you when you come in, right? So
not accordingly. Not a lot. You get to know everything.
Well, it depends on how much of consent you've given me, but I know enough to customize, my conversation. So I already know that I'm talking to, someone with this kind of a age or demographic profile, etc. I know the credit score. I get to know your other investments and so on and so forth. So this is first part of it. The second part is the whole AI-driven mass customization. With the data enrichment, etc., that is available, I get to know that probably Hindi is something that you would be more comfortable with. So I repurpose my content in Hindi for you. I also know that you would probably prefer to deliver that content at 9 o'clock in the evening when you are kind of relaxed and you have the time to go through that. So I then get in touch with you at that point in time and so on and so forth. So the second part is the customization. Or
sending a WhatsApp message or...
Exactly. Whether email or WhatsApp or whatever, long format content, short format content, social media, all of those things are customized, and today with the help of AI, we are able to mass customize.
Without asking him.
Without asking. Right? So this is the second part. Observing and, kind of correcting. So the third part is the whole...
What do you use? What platform you use for all this?
Oh, there is a whole web of multiple platforms that it uses. I spoke about CDP, CRM. I spoke about various AI tools. So there is a voice analyzer, for example. I am able to, get the intent from this chat that we are having. I am able to use multiple data enrichment engines, etc. So there are multiple
different levels of analytics.
There is this whole content. There is this whole customization of the whole piece, and the machine learning models that are able to predict what you're going to be doing, which is very important for the partner. So I'm able to tell the sub-broker that handles you as a customer as to what should be the next best product.
Next step to deal with you.
Exactly. It also tells my advisor as to what is it that he should be talking to you about today.
All this initiative that you have taken, what kind of matrix you have? Do you have a dashboard to see that you have succeeded or failed, or you have not done something well or something done exceedingly well? What is that matrix? What do you look up to?
Yes. So there are 4 or 5 things. The biggest metric that we use is NPS, Net Positive Score. At the end of every conversation or every interaction, you rate me on a scale of 1 to 10, and you know how NPS
the customer
works.
do it.
Yeah, customer, partner, anyone who I interact with, rate me for how well was I able to service you, and whether you would be recommending me to your friends and family. So if you rate me 9 or 10, you are supposed to be a promoter. And if you rate me less than 8, you're supposed to be detractor. So I find the promoter score minus detractor score, and that is my net promoter score. So that tells me quite a lot about what all the song and dance that I did, was it meeting your purpose?
Was it worthwhile?
And were you delighted at the end of it? Now, whether you made money or not, was the interaction enjoyable? Right? Because investing is not something
that is the outcome which will be visible
whether I
later.
gave you all information, whether I was candid and transparent with you, whether I told you everything upfront, whether I warned you about the possible risks, and therefore you say, okay, no problem. Even if I lost money, it is not Sandeep's fault. And that's
or you
why
were made aware of the risks. So.
Exactly. So net positive score is very, very critical. The second very important parameter that we speak about is contacts per convert. How many times did I have to, you had to speak with me for a transaction to go through? Or how many times do I have to pitch something to you before you said yes? How can I reduce that so as to optimize your time and so as to make myself more and more efficient? So there are multiple parameters like that which are tracked almost at an individual level to ensure that all the cohorts and segments and sub-segments that we are catering to are provided with the information which is customized, the products that are, again customized, and in a manner that is very, very efficient for both the buyer and the seller.
Thank you very much for your time.
Look forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you.